Shalom, brothers and sisters out there. See if this thing come up. Yeah, it's actually showing. Ha! It's actually showing. Ha! So let me try something. It's actually showing. Ha! So let me try something. It's actually showing. Ha! Try something. It's actually showing. Ha! Yeah, we looking good. So, all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekak, Wadash, double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, so like y'all have the garment on, but I really wasn't intending on showing me. Just wanted to say shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. I can see that I told you I was gonna work the kinks out, right? Call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai for making this thing work better. What I'm gonna do, we're gonna do news and notes. You really ain't gonna see me that much, so don't pay no attention. I just really just experimenting what we gonna do. Let's go ahead and this lesson is gonna be entitled, I don't even know what I called it. USA sanctions on Russia, news and notes. Okay? And the first thing I'm gonna do, I'll come back to me for a split second. All right, turn the camera back on. I'll come to me for a split second. I'm actually going live on this on my phone. I'm gonna share this stream here on a couple of channels. Hold on, y'all. So it's exciting stuff going on. Wonderful. You know, the sanctions are heating up. Yeah, bro. Yeah. It's you know what? I don't know if it's only for iPhone. One of the brothers from the Bahamas camp turned me on to this. I had it on my phone for a long time. It's called Prism Live. And what I had used it for was going, you know, just streaming live whenever you get, you know, you have to go to your other channel and you could stream live without having 1,000 subscribers. And I really was just doing it for the camera. The whole time I had a doggone this on screen app, you know, that you could show your screen with, and I didn't even know how to use it. I just started messing with it the other day and I was able to figure it out. So it's Prism Live, okay? Prism Live, bro. And what I'm gonna do is let's see here. Hold on, y'all. I shared the stream on that channel. I'm gonna go here on this other channel, which is the main one, and then we're gonna get into it. Okay. Oh, I like that. Yeah. So as y'all know, if you've been watching the news, yeah, you know, if you have any trouble, let me know, bro. And what I'll try to do is I may have to put together a quick video to, you know, show brothers how to use it or whatever. I don't know. If that's something, you know, that might help. Hold on, brother. Hold on. All right. And let's also see if we can share on WhatsApp. Yeah, I can do it. Y'all hold on here. All right. So we're going to be off and running. Again, all praise Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Okay. And as you can see right there, I was able to share that, even show that. Wow. So yeah, let's read the scripture first, because the sanctions are heating up with what the United States are doing with Russia. You got American companies temporarily closing over there in Russia, left and right. It's exciting stuff, man. Ban on the Russian oil. The gas prices going up, food prices going up, so much stuff going on, I can't even report it all, okay? So, you know, Salakia how I look. I'm just sitting around the house or whatever, but I know that I want to go live. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, let's see here. We'll start off with a scripture. Are y'all able to see that? Let's see. So much stuff going on, I can't even report it all, okay? So, you know, Salakia how I look. I'm just sitting around the house or whatever, but I know that I want to go live. So no. Let me just check it out, brothers. Yeah, so y'all able to see all that. All right, so let's do it. So this first scripture, we got Revelation 17. Let's read that. It says, okay, the water, everybody. All right, so it says the doom of Babylon, right? And you know, before I read that, I want to show a couple of these images right here. This is funny. These right here is funny. right? This is old Patel getting paper right now, right? Gas stations owners right now. You see him got the gold chains. Old Patel get his money, right? That's just something funny. So this is the thumbnail that you're seeing, or that you see when you click on this video. All these companies cut ties with Russia. You see there Disney, TikTok, Netflix, PayPal, Facebook, Apple, WB, Paramount, Sony, FIFA, YouTube, Twitter, just to name a few. I think Starbucks is added to that now, McDonald's. We're going to report on that and get into it. Now I got here this steal that's been going around on the chat with the brothers. Let me read it. It says, heir to the Rothschild family, Nathaniel Rothschild, today wrote to members of the British government, giving his view that Vladimir Putin is the most dangerous man since the defeat of Hitler, with Xi Jinping a close second. And that's the president or the head man over there in Russia. In China, Slovakia. So it says, the most dangerous man since the defeat of Hitler, with Xi Jinping a close second, and explained that, quote, Ukraine is an essential piece that we cannot afford to lose in the geopolitical piece. Slovakia. Ukraine is an essential piece that we cannot afford to lose in the geopolitical chessboard, end quote. The heir to the Rothschild fortune argued that Russia must be excised from the international banking and economic system, which is major, because this could definitely lead to World War III. We'll see what happens. We must bring Russia to its knees through any means possible to send a strong signal to the Chinese and to protect our global systems of norms and liberal values. Let's go here. We must be under no illusions. If we allow Vladimir Putin to seize Ukraine, it will send a signal to our enemies, Iran, China, and North Korea, especially that we will do nothing. They said, Salah, let me read that again. It will send a signal to our enemies, Iran, China, and North Korea, especially that we will do nothing when faced with an onslaught of force. Here, let's see at the bottom. Let's see what it says. In effect, our current path of lack of military action means that our global order is dead on its feet. I urge you to deploy more fierce against Russia and its proxies. Step up information warfare. You hear that? Information warfare, propaganda, to correct opinion, especially online, and send weaponry to our friends in Ukraine. Without Ukraine, the global order may not survive. So, that right there in itself, that article is heavy. And all I could do was take a screenshot of it. So, there's a lot going on over there when it comes to that. Let's see here. Let's get a quick script. This is Revelation 17. So, really, this is exciting stuff. Hold on, y'all. Let's see here what I got. There we go. Oh, shit. Did it shut the stream off? Are y'all able to see me still? Let me know if you're able to see me, because it seemed like it shut the stream off, but I guess it didn't. Oh, shit. Okay. It's all good. Yeah. Okay. It's all good. Yeah. But what it did was it started my timer over. So y'all forgive me, because this thing still working the bugs out. Still. Yeah, still working the kinks out. Salakia. But yeah, hey, I'm excited because this is fat, son. Anyway, all right, hey, Shalom, Elder Hawad. Shalom. Okay, let's keep going there. Let's keep it moving. So what we'll do is we'll turn this off and then we'll come back to it. Okay. So Revelation 17 and verse 1, it says, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and taught with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Now, this great whore is America, Babylon the Great, right? And John the Revelator saw the judgment of it. It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Now, as we know, this place has made the whole world drunk with wickedness, with its philosophies, with its policies. And you can no longer say that this place is not damn Babylon the Great. I'm sorry. They're showing you the power that it's got. Now I want to get Revelation 17, right? And I'm going to go to verse 12. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast." And these, these represent the nations, the NATO nations, because the empire is the Roman Empire. America is the great horde that sitteth on the back of the beast, and these other nations that are their allies, right? Which now is more than 10 kings, but the main ones would be Germany, France, Great Britain, so on and so forth. So what America's doing, what does it say in verse 13? "These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast." So America couldn't make moves like this if they didn't get the other countries behind it. Now, at some point, these nations are going to turn against America. And you can kind of see maybe in the distance how this might happen. But right now, America got a united front with most of these nations. Now it says here in verse 16, and I can read verse 15. It says, "And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues." See? So the great horse sitting upon many waters is these many different nations, these many different peoples that is in control of. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, which are the allies, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." And that represents the nations, as it says in Obadiah, for brother know where it's at. And we can actually go and grab that. Let's go over there real quick. Obadiah 1, right? Salakia. I be forgetting. It's just so easy to go over there. Right? So it says right here, Obadiah 1 and 6. "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?" Right. Yeah, like the brother said, Germany can't refuse Russian oil. And really, man, most of Europe is dependent on that oil. Anyway, it says, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border." Now, Esau, Edom is the so-called white man. Of all these different nations, Britain, Germany, Russia, Italy, France, Sweden, Denmark, all these countries, even Russia, they're Edomites too, for the most part. And the Israelis, just don't leave them out. It says, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him." So at some point, this is gonna come to pass. All right. Now going back to Revelation 17 and 16. So at some point, these nations going to turn against these American devils. And that's what the Most High is going to use to destroy this place with. Now it's exciting to see something happening now, right? Now it says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." And an important point that Apostle Tahar brought out recently, I think it was in the camp lesson over the weekend. He said that although Russia's not part of NATO, it's not part of that beast, the Roman Empire beast, but it's part of the beast that Daniel saw, because the feet of it is the bear, the feet of the bear. So why they're not part of this beast, the beast with the 7 heads and the 10 horns, it is part of that 4th beast. Okay, if you can understand that. So when it says these nations shall make her desolate and naked, and eat her flesh, and burn her with fire, is talking about they're going to shoot the missiles over here. And this is the reason why, for the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill his will. This is all about the will of the Heavenly Father. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. It's all the will of the Lord. For the Most High have put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. You cannot say that does not fit America, Babylon the Great, or that does not fit America, because they reign over the kings of the earth. How the hell can you shut down a place and tell them that you're going to take the private jets, you're going to shut down the credit cards, you're going to do all this stuff because your ass is Babylon the Great? Now, before we get into that, I'll read a little bit more, and then we're going to come back to Revelation 18. This is Revelation 18 and 1. Hey, Shalom, brother Azaria from GMS in the Truth Orlando. I meant to text you, brother. We made it back safely. We got back early today. Verse 1 says, "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory." And I want to say to that brother too, excellent, wonderful camp. I enjoyed meeting you brothers, and look forward to seeing y'all again, man. And I appreciate the hospitality. Okay. Verse 2, "And he cried, mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, is become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So when this place is destroyed, this is going to become a lodging place for desert creatures. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. You see? So, okay, brother. Yep. How about Shemel Shabbarakatah? So you can clearly see, as it says in verse 3, all nations have drunk of the wine of Babylon. You see? So whenever you deal with Babylon the Great, you got to be careful because this whole will turn on you. Okay? And I can see the comments now. Let me turn the camera on for a brief second. So you got to be careful because this whole will turn on you. So right now, the nations are basically choosing because America is waging, economical type war on Russia, okay, over Ukraine. So this is, hey, man, this is big stuff. I mean, it's not the end yet, but we'll see. You know what I mean? We will see. So let's get more articles. Let's get some information. I got over here first. Let's see where I want to be. Hold on, brothers. Okay. So I got an article right here, and I got some news too. So don't sweat that. We also got news too. What's this thing? Let's see if we can refresh this. Oh, come on, baby. All right. There we go. Salakia. Okay, so this right here is an article that I got a hold of yesterday. It's from NDTV. Right here it says Netflix, TikTok, Samsung, others exit Russia. Full list here. International sanctions have made, hold on. International sanctions have made it difficult, if not impossible, for many companies to supply parts, make payments, and deliver goods to and from Russia. Let's go here. You see a picture of the Kremlin, right? Even as more companies sever ties with Russia, criticism is rising of banks and corporations. Right? Let's see if we get the full article. Netflix, TikTok, Samsung, and credit card operators. Let me try to highlight it so y'all can keep up with me while I read that. Have joined the lengthening list of businesses cutting ties with Russia or reviewing their operations in the country as reputational and financial risk mount. Hold on one quick second here. Let me share this one more time. Okay. All right, Salakia. Let me read that again. It says, I'm gonna read from the middle. Lengthening list of businesses cutting ties with Russia or reviewing their operations in the country as reputational and financial risk mount. So I can get it here. International sanctions, the closure of airspace and transport ports links due to the war, and the financial restrictions on SWIFT and capital controls have made it difficult, if not impossible, for many companies to supply parts, make payments, and deliver goods to and from Russia. Added to that, the potential international consumer backlash against any company perceived as helping Vladimir Putin's regime means that the exodus of corporations from Russia has become a stampede. And that's key, okay? Because what are they doing? They're backing Russia into a corner. They're making it difficult for them to pursue this war with Ukraine. Because why? They're making it hard for them to keep their finances up, to keep the country up. If all the international, because countries make their living by trade. So if you get shut off from the international trade, or you get put into a corner like they've been doing in North Korea over the years, that makes your economy poor. Okay? Because people don't really realize how much money these companies bring in. They don't realize how much money these countries bring in by their international trade. Now it goes on. Can you imagine how much money Michael Jordan would lose if he wasn't able to sell his Jordans all over the earth? Same thing with Xbox or any of these cars. That's how they make money. They sell their wares all over the earth. You see? So Babylon the Great has got a major part of that. And this is proving that this place is Babylon. The route reverses 3 decades of investment there by foreign businesses after the Soviet Union broke apart in 1991, especially in energy. Here are some of the biggest companies that have begun to unravel their connections. It says right here, oil and gas, right? It says Russia's largest foreign investor, BP plc, led the way with his surprise announcement on February 27 that it would exit its 20% stake in state-controlled Rosneft, a move that could result in a $25 billion write-off in the company and cut the company's global oil and gas production by a third. Shell plc followed. Doggone, this thing is aggravating. Shell plc followed, citing Russia's senseless act of military aggression. Now, that's hypocritical, because Babylon the Great does this shit all the time to other countries. They done did it to Iraq. They did it to Afghanistan. You see? They did it to several countries, and all Russia did was sat in the background. It says the company said it would end its partnerships with state-controlled Gazprom, including the Sakhalin-2 liquefied natural gas facility and its involvement in the Nord Stream 2, Slovakia. The Nord Stream 2 pipeline project, which Germany blocked last week. See, so you got Germany, but the brother said on the comment board, most of them countries in Europe, particularly Germany, they can't go without their Russian oil, man. They need it. Which Germany blocked last week. Both projects are worth about $3 billion. $3 billion. ExxonMobil Corp said it would discontinue its Sakhalin-1 operations. Equinor ASA, Norway's state-owned energy giant, said it will start with withdrawing from its joint ventures in Russia, worth about $1.2 billion. In parallel, Norway's sovereign wealth fund, the world's largest, said it's freezing Russian assets worth about $2.8 billion and will come up with a plan to exit by March 15th. So you got Norway, and you got America, Babylon the Great, Germany, all doing stuff. And them Norwegians, they Edomites too. They just Edomites that speak the Norwegian language. It's amazing what the Most High is doing. It said in finance, Visa Incorporated and MasterCard Incorporated said on Saturday they are suspending operations. Let's highlight it. Visa Inc. and MasterCard Inc. said on Saturday they are suspending operations in Russia. In separate statements that arrived within minutes of each other, Visa cited, quote, Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine and the unacceptable events that we have witnessed, while MasterCard referred to the unprecedented nature of the current conflict and uncertain economic environment. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, who's a faggot, had called on the companies to halt all business in Russia. He's a comedian, basically. He's just an actor, man. Had called on the companies to halt all business in Russia during a video call with U.S. lawmakers. Each gets about 4% of its revenue from businesses linked to Russia. American Express followed on Sunday. Some critics argue that the steps aren't enough, while the company said any transactions initiated with their cards issued in Russia will no longer work outside the country, and cards issued outside of Russia won't work at Russian merchants or ATMs. Can't even get no paper. Consumers inside Russia who have a locally issued card can still pay for goods and services there. And they even got automakers. Check this out. The automakers is getting in on it too. So MasterCard, Visa, different stuff. Man, this article is fire. I'm going to have to put a link to it on the comment board. Matter of fact, I don't know how I can do that. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, didn't want to do that. Tell you what. Copy, right? And then, hold on, y'all. Let's see if I can put this thing on the comment board some kind of way. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay, this thing just warned me that it might shut down. So I can't put the link up, but because I don't have a place where I can put my chat here. But shoot. What that person say? DJ, what did DJ Digital say? A damn demon. Hey, but it's all good. I can't put the link, but Lord will not be able to put it on the comment board afterward. I'll leave all the articles up. Let's just keep moving because I got more information to share. Salakia, brothers. So it says in the space of a week, most of the world's biggest car makers, including General Motors Company, Ford Motor Company, Volkswagen AG, and Toyota Motor Corporation announced they would halt shipments to Russia or idle plants in the country. They see the automakers shutting down, and Volkswagen is German. Y'all know that. Truck makers Volvo AB and Daimler Truck Holding AG also halted business activities there. So if you work at them places and you live in Russia, your ass ain't working right now. The automaker with the most to lose, Renault SA, has remained quiet. And I guess that's not an American company. The French company's majority control, oh, it's a French company, right? It says the French companies, so like it, brothers. Anybody know what DJ Digital said? The French company's majority control of Avtovaz, the Soviet-era maker of Ladas, I don't know what the hell that is, and reliance on Russia for about 12% of its revenue have unnerved investors, and Renault has lost more than a third of its market value in 2 weeks. Yep, brother said it. Sanctions are a declaration of war. Renault has promised to abide by sanctions, Gabriel Attal, the French government spokesman, said Thursday on France Info Radio. Then they go to consumer goods. So those in consumer goods are shutting down too. It ain't just car makers. It ain't just gas, okay? Okay. The brother DJ Digital said, remember Israel, we live in the United States in the military. We call it nuclear attack mad. Which, he right. A nuclear attack, in the United States. Let me read it again. Remember Israel, we live in the United States. In the military, we call it nuclear attack mad. Well, what he meant, mutually assured destruction, because that's an acronym for mad. Because if Russia doggone shoot their nuclear missiles over here, these coward ass Americans, they ain't gonna take it. They're gonna hit the button too to send missiles over to Russia. Okay, mutually assured destruction. Mutual is when you in agreement. Like if you have a man and a woman agree, we're gonna go our separate ways, right? So this is mutually assured destruction. Our nukes will hit them, well, not our, but the American nukes will hit Russia. The Russian nukes will hit America. I guess that's what he meant. So he might not been being a demon. You can reinstate that brother. He might be all right. You know what I mean? You can unhide him. You just gotta learn. Okay, there he is. Yeah, you back, DJ Digital. Russia and China is connected economically. That's true. That's true. Yep. Jeremiah the weeping prophet said, just like when the pandemic started, they shut the whole world. That's right. And I did a lesson on it. That's how you know who the wicked is. You can't get out of this shit, man. Everything they do, they just fall into the hands of the Lord. We told you people, man. We told you. Anyway, consumer goods says Levi Strauss and Company, whose jeans were a coveted black market item in the Soviet Union. Yeah, back years ago, during when Gorbachev was the president of Russia, they couldn't get certain stuff over there in Russia. Okay, we know you Israelite, bro. We know that. You don't need to say it. But just because you're Israelite don't mean your ass can't get blocked. All right. So we ain't them groups that say just because we looking for the Israel of the Most High, not just the Israelite. Okay. So post some scriptures or hold your peace. You want to join in, post scriptures or hold your peace. It's a chat board, but it ain't a chat boy. You know what I'm saying? Going on. Levi Strauss and Company, whose jeans were a coveted black market item. Yeah, now that acronym the brother put up, CCCP, I'm going to try to say it. Communist. I can't say it. If a brother know it, it's communist something public. I don't know. I can't say it. But they will also call that too, as well as the Soviet Union. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I know it was called the USSR, United Soviet Socialist Republic, but it was also called the CCCP. So DJ Digital, you can look it up and put up what that acronym meant. I don't have it in my head right now. Anyway, like I was saying, if you go back a few years, about 2 decades, it was hard for you to get Levi's, Pepsi, or Coke over there in Russia until they started, made some deals and they started outsourcing. So now wherever you go on the earth, you can get a damn disgusting McDonald's burger, which I ain't friend. I be eating McDonald's sometimes too. I ain't gonna try to act all like that, but I'm just saying the shit is still, sometimes it's okay, sometimes the shit is disgusting. But it ain't really good for you though. Anyway, let's move it on. It says Levi Strauss and Company, whose jeans were a coveted black market item in the Soviet Union, is suspending commercial operations in Russia, where it gets about 2% of its sales. See, only 2% of the Levi Strauss sales even come from Russia. So it hurt them more than it hurt Levi Strauss. You see? When you go into the logo of damn Levi's, it show, which really they say represent a Jake being ripped in half by two horses. The jeans tearing. The quote, enormous disruption of occurring in the region has made it untenable to conduct business as normal, the company said Monday. Any business considerations are clearly secondary to the human suffering experienced by so many. And that's just some hypocritical shit. This is just a way. All right. No, we want you to actually put the real scripture up, bro. Don't quote it. Put the scripture up. It's not hard. It's not hard. All right. So the brother Amar Yah said the definition of CCCP is the abbreviation for the full name of the Soviet Union, Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. Okay. Well, I wanted to know what the letters actually meant, but I guess that's good enough. No sweat. The water, brother. So going on, it says Samsung Electronics. No, the point I was going to make, they worry about human suffering, but they ain't worried about all these many years. They've been dropping bombs on civilians over there in Iraq, Afghanistan, and different places around the world, all down in Africa. You wasn't worrying about the human toll that was taken then, about the humanitarian and the doggone, what's it called, brothers? Let me breathe. The doggone crisis, the humanitarian crisis and made refugee crisis that has been making of all these different countries, because they had them economic hitmen that they put them sanctions on your ass, and then they'll blow your country up, and then what do? They go send their companies over there to rebuild shit. There's a cartoon on it. If a brother know what a clip is, I may have to go and try to look it up. Let's see if we can do that real quick. We take a quick break from that. Let's see if we can look up this economic hitman cartoon. Let's see if we can get that. If I can get this search to work. Come on, baby. Do it for me. Okay, so what we'll do is... Okay. Economic hitman. Can we get it? Nope. Oh, there it is. Economic hitman. Let's watch it. Hold on. Let's turn it back to the mobile version. Easier to manage.
We economic hitmen have managed to create the world's first truly global empire, and it's basically a secret empire. We do it many ways, but principally, we identify a country that has resources our corporations covet, like oil, arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sisters. The money never actually goes to the country. It goes to our own corporations to build big infrastructure projects in that country that help a few very wealthy people, but don't benefit the majority of the people who are too poor to buy electricity or have cars to drive on the highways, and yet they're left holding a huge debt that they can't repay. So we go back at some point and say, you can't pay your debts. Give us a pound of flesh, sell your oil real cheap to our oil companies, vote with us on the next critical UN vote, allow us to build a military base in your backyard, something along these lines. And when we fail, the jackals go in and either overthrow or assassinate these leaders. And if the jackals fail, as they did in Iraq, then we send in the military. I don't think the failure is capitalism. I think it's a specific kind of capitalism that we've developed. We've created what I consider a mutant, viral form of capitalism. And this mutant form of capitalism, which I think is really a predatory form of capitalism, has created an extremely unstable, unsustainable, unjust, and very, very dangerous world. I've met a lot of terrorists. I've interviewed them for books. I've never met one who wanted to be a terrorist. They're desperate people. If we want to get rid of terrorism, we must get rid of the root causes, that cancer that is destroying our whole system. Because I think it's really important that we understand today We cannot have homeland security unless we understand that the whole planet is our homeland.
See that? That's actually fire. And you know what? I'm going to put a link. I figured out how I can do it. I'm going to copy this, baby. Let's see here. Hold on. Let's do that. Now I figured out how I can do this. Y'all just hold on here. Let's see. Let's do that. Let's do this. Okay. Oh. Y'all just hold tight. I'm trying to get the chat to come up so I can put this link. There it is. Okay. No, I don't want to work. Oh. This thing is such a pain. Pain in the ass. There it is. All right, so I can also, let's also put the other chat, the other link up too, to this article. Let's do that. So if brothers want to go there and look it up, you can. All right, and then we'll close that. So going back to the article, so yeah, that economic hitman, that's fire. All right. Yeah, I see it, brother, the water. So I want to read that what the brother had. Sons of Jake, Shalom, brother. He put up, yeah, DJ Digital. He ain't gonna go by the rules. We try to cut your break, DJ Digital. Yeah, at the water, brother. Yup, it's on. I'm gonna say it again. It's on Prism Live. You can download it for free. All right. Now, as far as I know, it ain't just iPhone. I think you can also use it for regular phones too. So it says Sons of Jake, Central Committee, the CCCP. The acronym is Central Committee of Communist Party. That's what it is. Yeah, and maybe he'll get right. You give him another chance. If you tripping after that, he might have to go. All right, because either you here to help or you help edify, or you can or you're gonna be a problem. If you become a distraction, man, we can't really deal like that. So let's keep it moving. This is right here. It says Samsung Electronics Company, the leading smartphone seller in Russia with more than 30% of the market, suspended exports to the country of all its products. Samsung said it will donate $6 million to humanitarian efforts in the region, including 1 million consumer electronics products. No, in the fuck. Here it is, if you a doggone refugee, what do you need with electronics products? But then again, I suppose. Before the announcement, Mikhailo Fedorov, who serves as Ukraine's vice prime minister and oversees digital operations, posted a letter on his Twitter account to Samsung vice chairman Han Jong-hee, urging the Korean tech giant to temporarily cease supplying services products to Russia. We need your support. In 2022, modern technology is perhaps the best answer to the tanks, multiple rocket launches, and missiles targeting residential neighborhoods, kindergartens, and hospitals, he wrote. So instead of reading all this, I put the article on the chat. I want to read this about Microsoft. Then we're going to probably move on. It says Microsoft, and I got news too, some news footage to watch. Microsoft on Friday condemned Russia's unjustified, unprovoked, and unlawful invasion of Ukraine and said it's suspending all new sales of products and services in Russia. Apple Incorporated has halted sales of iPhones and started limiting Apple Pay services and other popular products in Russia, and removed the RT News and Sputnik News applications from app stores outside the country. You know you can't get RT News right now. The largest supplier of PCs to Russia has stopped exports to the country, as has Intel Corp. Woo! Nike Incorporated, I just can't stop. Nike Incorporated is one of several consumer goods companies that have cited logistical problems as a reason for suspending sales in Russia. Spanish fashion retailer Inditex SA, which has 502 stores in Russia, including 86 Zara outlets, is also temporarily closing all its shops in Russia and halting online sales, saying it cannot guarantee the continuity of operations and trading conditions. Other companies have so far taken limited steps to halt business. Danone SA's General Secretary Laurent Saki said the world's largest yogurt maker will suspend investment in Russia but will continue to sell dairy and baby food. Oh man, even media, Netflix Incorporated is shutting its operations in Russia and said no new customers will be able to sign up, though it's unclear what will happen with existing accounts. You can't even Netflix and chill in that bitch. Netflix has fewer than 1 million customers in Russia and has been operating in the country through a partnership with National Media Group. That means you can't watch damn Ozark, you can't get the damn Dave Chappelle, you can't watch Breaking Bad and all that other stuff. Can't watch them cartoons over there. I mean, you can watch them, but no new customers is what it said. The streaming giant said previously it won't be carrying required Russian news channels on its local language service in the country and has paused all projects and acquisitions from Russia, including 4 programs in production. Woo! Hollywood studios, including Walt Disney Company, Paramount Pictures, Sony Corp., and AT&T Incorporated's Warner Media and Comcast Corporation's Universal Pictures have also halted or postponed the release of movies in Russia. Damn, son. Meanwhile, other platforms, including TikTok, they're going to go crazy over that. People love the damn TikTok. Including TikTok are suspending or closing services because of Russia's new fake news law aimed at silencing dissent and limiting information about the invasion of Ukraine. Oh, yeah. So there's more. So I urge brothers to go. This article ain't never going to stop. And Salaki, there's so much more to it. You can see here. I read almost all of it, though. There's some good stuff down there, but you got to go and check that out. So I'll put the link up in the chat. What else I want to get? Let's see what we got right here. That's news.
And go about their day.
We're going to come back to that. I want to go over here real quick and show you. This is another article. This is from Yahoo. I'm not going to read all it, just read a little bit of it since we read so much already, right? It says Russian banks. Now, this is what Russia did in response to the MasterCard shit. This is from Yahoo. It says Russian banks turn to China's UnionPay as Visa, MasterCard pull plug. You see Putin right there, MasterCard and Visa. Russian banks may begin issuing credit cards with China's UnionPay after Visa and MasterCard announced the suspension of their Russian operations due to the invasion of Ukraine, according to media reports citing the Russian central bank. So this is what Russia did, they got going on with China. Let's read a little bit of these bullet points. It says, that's what it means, bro. The MOTB is very close. Very close. And the stupid Israelites doing all the damn, get ready for your crazy Passover. Your ass better be worried. You better get ready. All them Israelites that taught that shit about the MOTB was money. See, when they issue this shit, you're going to take it. We'll see. That's right, brother. BRICS nations. And DJ Digital, understand? You'll get it. Russian banks also leaning on the local payment systems, MIR or MIR, as international transactions on Visa cards will no longer be processed after March 10 Moscow time. Your ass got a Visa or American Express or MasterCard over there, you can't even buy shit with it. That's crazy. They isolate you. UnionPay operates in 180 countries and regions and already serves Russian financial institutions, but a further shift from Visa and MasterCard to the Chinese payment system would essentially allow Russians access to overseas payments. So Russia stepped in. I mean, China stepped in. The Dragon came in. See, the Dragon came in and said, "Don't worry about it. We got you, bro." See, and that right there and that's something that America don't like because they want to isolate, but see, they want to smother Russia to death. But you got other countries that's gonna help. Man, this is amazing. U.S. payments giant American Express also stopped operations in Russia as well as Belarus. Russia's largest bank, state-backed Sberbank, is exploring co-badged Mirror Union Pay cards, while the nation's largest bank, Alpha Bank, is reportedly working on Union Pay cards. Now, this article is pretty easy to get. If you go and you look up, really, if you just Google this, if you Google this right here, you can get it. It's probably come up in more places than just on just Yahoo. I'm gonna take that down. And what I did is I Googled, as you can see here, McDonald's shutting down in Russia, right? You get all kind of videos and stuff. Let's look at this one. This is CNN News, Al Jazeera, the Wall Street Journal, all kind of reports. You know, all kind of media. Every major media place is reporting on this stuff. Let's go over here and see if we can't get something. It says McDonald's, Starbucks, and Coca-Cola leave Russia. Can't even get a Coke in that joint once they run out. Let's see if we can watch it here. Yeah.
3 major global brands are suspending operations in Russia. Starbucks has announced it will suspend all business activity in the country. McDonald's is temporarily shutting its restaurants. It has nearly 850, and that follows a move by Unilever to stop imports and exports. McDonald's chief executive says our values mean we cannot ignore the needless human suffering unfolding in Ukraine. McDonald's is more than just an example. It's totemic in a sense, a unique place in recent history for Russia. It was 1990, Gorbachev, Perestroika, Glasnost, and McDonald's opened its first branch, and people stood in the cold for hours to get a Big Mac and fries. The idea of consumer service was a novelty, and people were used to direct Soviet-style hospitality. The arrival of an American capitalism showed or suggested change was on its way. As I say, capitalism, market economy, perestroika. 2 years later, of course, the Soviet Union ceased to exist as a country. Nina's with me. Nina, McDonald's decided to pull out.
Even I remember those pictures, Richard. Yeah, 1990, 30,000 people queuing for a hamburger in the cold in Moscow's Red Square, I think it was. It's amazing to think that we've got to a stage where now ceasing operations in Russia so many years afterwards. Also because it has big operations in Russia. It relies upon Russia for about 9% of its revenues and 3% of its operating profits. So this is a really big deal. Also, as the old adage used to go, 2 countries that had a McDonald's could not be at war with each other. Well, sadly, that is obviously not the case over the last 13 days. They pulled their operations out of Ukraine, obviously with the invasion, and now they've suspended operations in Russia. But they're going to keep staff paid, and that's an important point, because there have been ructions among the Russian government that they could seize assets of foreign companies that aren't paying their staff. So
we've got McDonald's, you've got Apple, you've got, you know the list.
Starbucks, just in the last few hours.
Right. There's an element of sanctions. They're worried about breaking sanctions. And that's an official sort of, that's the General Counsel, that's the CFO, but there's this moral question of, should we be there? Should we continue to be there?
Yeah, that's right.
And how are they balancing that, corporations?
Well, some of them are deciding to front-run the problem by removing their operations or suspending them. Now, obviously, the hint has been given very heavily by the Russian government that it would be good if they carried on paying their staff, otherwise their business might get nationalised. So 200 of them have gradually sort of come out. The big names at first were people like H&M and IKEA, but a lot have followed suit. There are some who've decided to stay, like, for instance, Uniqlo has said, well, we're going to continue operations in Russia because people need clothes. It's significant that Unilever has also pulled out in terms of exports and imports as well, because that's a huge company. It's a huge consumer goods company that people will notice on the supermarket shelves. This is exactly what Western sanctions drafters were kind of hoping that.
Right, but what is the time scale on this?
In terms of how much of an effect it'll have on the Russian economy.
We're talking about it.
Absolutely, that is the trillion-dollar question at this point. you can notice that the ruble obviously has plunged about 30%. I've had conversations with various people at the intersection of business, Western firms operating in Russia, and over the last week or so, the first thing that they've said is, I don't even know whether I'm going to be able to get my money out of the country, what it'll be worth, how Western franchise owners are going to be able to pay staff as well. These are the things we're seeing playing out.
All right, so that was useful. Good info. Now we don't have to read the article because it's the same thing that was repeated. See, and you can get more information, and you know all you gotta do is go there and put McDonald's shutting down in Russia. You'll have all these come up. You can get articles with videos, or you can just get straight articles. Look at it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, man. Beautiful stuff. Forbes, McDonald's shuts 800 restaurants in Russia over Ukraine invasion. McDonald's. From New York Post, McDonald's, other U.S. fast food brands bracing for anti-American backlash in Russia. Let's go there. It said other American brands. What else? Say McDonald's. People ain't gonna be able to get no food over there for McDonald's. Big deal. You'll live longer. You'll live longer. You should be glad. Wait till this shit happen over here. Right here it says in August, KFC said it had just opened its 1,000th restaurant in Russia, where it typically opens 100 eateries a year. Papa John's operates about 185 restaurants in Russia. Burger King has about 550 eateries in the country. Look at that. So it's all types of info out there. And it's exciting to see stuff unfolding like this. We had no idea, that this was going to happen, which is great. It's a build-up happening. War of words. People are pissed off. You mess with Esau money, it put them hands on you. You know what I mean? So we're going to shut that one down. What else we got? There's so much news going on. So let's go back to Revelation 18. And we're going to go to Revelation 18. And first, let me read the brother. One of the brothers had a great scripture. Brother Azariah from GMS in the Truth, Orlando. Let me see if I can go over here. All right. So this is from the brother GMS Azariah. Brother Azariah from GMS Orlando. Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. That's right. And a lot of countries may not really agree. They might not really agree with all the sanctions being put on Russia, but guess what? You got to choose sides. If you go against Babylon the Great, you stand to be isolated as well. So you got to go along. You got to play along with it, even if you don't agree. See? Stay in the game more by being with America right now. But we going to see what the Lord of Hosts got to say about it. Let's go back over here. Back in Revelation 18. Revelation 18 and verse. I'm going to jump in here at. It says right here, the lament for Babylon, right? This is when it's destroyed. I really just want to hit this. Because the same way that America is doing all these things, they are also great merchants of the earth. Because they get stuff, all nations send they wares over here to Babylon the Great. So if you piss them off, they can shut you out. And guess how much money? Look at how much money. Hey, you won't be able to get things that Russia bring in. If you're a country that's got major exports, America can stop buying your merchandise. Revelation 18:11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buy their merchandise anymore. And this whole chapter is chronicling the destruction of Babylon the Great and the reasons why. I just want to hit this. It says the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. You see? So this place is a major exporter and importer of goods. Okay? We send a lot of things out. We outsource a lot of things. but we also take in a lot from the other nations. So if you want to remain in good standing with Babylon the Great and continue to sell your goods over here and around the world, you got to remain on the side of Babylon the Great, because if you don't, you're going to suffer sanctions. See? So you can't say America's not in the Bible, because it is. It says, "And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all." And that's going to eventually happen. "The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing when they see this place burning, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls." And these are the colors of royalty, right? Purple and fine linen, scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. The attire of a king, or in this case, a great harlot. "For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate." And this is also too why. So that really is talking about when the nations see Babylon the Great burning on fire, the smoke rising up, they're going to be lamenting. Now we're going to go to Isaiah 27, because this is right after this is a good time to bring this out. Let's first go to Isaiah 26 and 20. When the nuclear missiles are shot here, the elect is going to be taken up into the chariots. It says, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee." Where is this also found? It's also found over in Revelation 18, we just left from. If you go to verse 4. And a lot of times Jacob read this scripture saying, "Come out of the ways of Babylon," but it's not what it's referring to. This is the salvation of the elect, Revelation 18 and 4. "And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." The elect going to be called up. "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double." So before the Most High exacts punishment and vengeance on Babylon the Great, he's going to call up his elect out of Babylon the Great. So in Isaiah 26 and 20, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers," that's the chariots, "and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed." The elect got to get called out of this place to be protected. This is the reason why. "For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain." You see? So the Most High is going to punish Babylon the Great. Now, when you simply go to the next chapter, it continues. Listen to what it says. The deliverance of Israel, Isaiah 27 and 1, which Israel today is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those scattered around the earth who go back to those people. We're the Hebrew Israelites. Isaiah 27 and 1, "In that day, the same day when the Lord take up the elect, in that day the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, with his sword and great and strong, Salakia, with his sword and great and strong sword, shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent," which is that old devil, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. "Shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, and even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea." What is this dragon in the sea? This is this damn devil in control of all the trade, as many as had trade by sea. He's the dragon that's in the sea, controlling all the shipping routes. And he's showing you that he can do that by shutting your shit down. See that? He's shutting down Russia right now, trying to anyway. They trade in their commerce. Even if you go to Ezekiel 28, there's another awesome chapter you can read, which spiritually is going into Babylon the Great. Let's get it. Revelation 28 and 1, "Son of man, saying to the prince of Tyrus, Thus saith the Lord of power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas." Same dragon that's in the sea. Okay? Same dragon that's in the sea. "Yet thou art a man and not the Most High, though thou set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. Listen to how he got it. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. How? Because of his traffic, his trade and commerce. And when you get on his bad side, you piss him off, he will shut down your trade and your traffic. It's talking about the spiritual, not the spiritual demon Satan, but Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay? Even though down here it says what? Verse 14, thou art the anointed cherub that covereth. Right? It's not talking about a literal angel, but him who's given the angel, he's like the angel of death, if you want to say, the son of perdition. Okay? Because look, if you read on, it'll tell you that it's not talking about an angel, because many people go to this and try to say it's a spiritual demon Satan, but it's not. Thou art the anointed cherub that covered, which really, when you go into the word cherub or angel, it's just a messenger. It ain't got to be the angels from heaven, just as we're messengers. Right? It says, and I want to see what the definition says here for cherub. See, because Esau don't know it. It's karawab in the Hebrew. Karawab. Here it says cherubim, an angelic being, gardens of Eden. As the cherub of, it say Jehovah, it's Yahweh, gardens of Eden. See, Esau don't really got the full understanding, which cherub is, in some senses, it is an angel, a literal angel, but angels are likened unto men and men are likened unto angels, which the word karab, I'm trying to remember what it means in the Hebrew. I think it does mean messenger or mighty one. I might be going off on that, so don't quote me on it. But we are angels in our flesh. Just as the so-called white man is the anointed cherub that, what does he do? He covereth. He covered the faces of the judges. He put a covering over all nations. It's the same devil. As you read down, it's going to prove that it's a man and not an angel. It says, and I have set thee so, thou wast upon the holy mountain of the Most High. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst, and he got the knowledge of the stones. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee. Listen, by the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled thee with violence. So if this is talking about the spiritual demon Satan, what kind of merchandise Satan got? What he doing? He's selling that devil's food cake. You got some dope called devil's food cake. No, it's talking about people on the earth. It's these individuals on the planet, man. These Edomites, these economic hitmen, which economic hitmen is just part of their system. It's really talking about the illuminated ones, the Illuminati, controlling it all, but it filters on down to your average Edomite too, because they're all in the same people. By the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore I will cast thee as profane. Woo! Profane? Yeah. Who else is called profane in the scripts? Hebrews. Y'all know where we going. And the other day when I did that lesson on these two niggas that kept saying that Esau can be saved and the Most High don't hate anybody, well, they weren't making a difference between the holy and the profane. The profane people are Edomites, Esau. The holy nation is the Israelites. Hebrews 12:16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For you know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. And not only him, but all of his people. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. So this is that profane individual that's been cast out from before the face of the Lord. That's why the scriptures say when they're born, they are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born. So back in Ezekiel 28:16, it says, but by the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore I will cast thee as profane, Esau, Edom, out of the mountain of the Most High. Right? Because he can't be involved, or he's not a part of the mountain of the Most High, which is the government of the Lord. And I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Now again, if you one of them bugged out Israelites who believe in the fallen angels and shit like that, well, what angels got traffic and merchandise? You won't find it anywhere. You see? And it's going to repeat it. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings that they may behold thee. Satan ain't going to be laying on the ground. He's a spirit. Satan is gonna be cast down. That goes right with what is it? Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit on the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. There is no throne. Verse 18. Thou hast defiled thy sanctuaries by the multitude of thine iniquities, by the iniquity of thy traffic. Going back to trade and commerce. Let's look up the word. Don't take my word for it. The traffic, right? That trade and commerce. That's how they crippling Russia right now. See it? Merchandise, traffic, trade. What's Satan trafficking and trading? What are the fallen angels trafficking and trading? Nothing, because it's not talking about them. Thou hast defiled thy sanctuaries by the multitude of thine iniquities, by the iniquity of thy traffic. Therefore I will bring forth a fire from the midst of thee, it shall devour thee, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all them that behold thee. Same destruction. Babylon the Great. The fire's going to come from the midst of them, meaning from their allies, and the missile's going to hit this bitch. All they that know thee among the people shall be astonished at thee. Thou shalt be a terror, and never shall thou be any more. So you can't get out of this, Esau, Edom. There's nowhere to go, baby. The Lord of hosts about to call in that mark on you. Now let's get some of these videos. I want to play this one from this guy. I don't know the dude's name. So let's listen into this, brothers. And y'all putting excellent scripts up, but I got a lot of info. Let's keep it rolling.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Biden just banned.
And Salaki, I can actually tell you where this is from AMTV. It says breaking Joe Biden declaration of new world reserve currency tomorrow. So let's hear about it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Biden just bans all Russian oil exports, sending oil prices skyrocketing. Russia and many economists are warning of $300 plus oil, maybe $10 to $20 a gallon at the pump, absolutely decimating Americans' pocketbooks. Many Americans, of course, on minimum wage, coming off what's happened in recent years, can barely afford to fill up their tank, yet alone buy food. And now this. Joe Biden says U.S. will ban all Russian oil imports, but he's not going to produce oil here in the United States. Isn't that crazy? It's like they want oil prices to keep skyrocketing. You see there? That actually, I believe, is what is really going on. Because again, they're transferring us to a new system. They want us all driving electric cars, and they want all of these electric cars to be driving you. In fact, Elon Musk was prompted earlier this week to turn off all of the Teslas remotely being used by Russians because World War, guys, and that would be a natural next progressive step, especially since that company has centralized power and control over the entire fleet of vehicles. All they have to do is press the little red button and the car won't start. So again, this brings up like totally moral, ethical questions about, is this too much power? And what is going to happen next in this stagflationary, as I told you would be the case, hyperinflationary collapse here in the United States of America and the westernized world. So let's go here and share this screen. Let me show you here. This is from CNBC.com. Biden says U.S. will ban Russian oil imports in response to Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Please like and share this video, ladies and gentlemen. Help us beat the algorithms. Smash the like button and then make sure to subscribe and hit that bell. President Joe Biden announced the U.S. will ban imports of Russian oil. Also, Europe says they're going to get rid of 2/3 of the natural gas that is being sent its way by, I think it's called Nord Stream 1. So we are in a very predictable, heightened, not just economic collapse, not just food crisis, food shortages, wheat, corn production, all stemming and coming out of Ukraine, but also energy, which is a key aspect of really, I would argue, any administration, whether or not this is Joe Biden or it was the previous president, Donald Trump. So Russia is now warning of $300 oil, says that they're going to cut off European gas if the West bans energy imports. So I guess Vladimir Putin's calling the bluff, and now that Biden has just declared this ban, I can only assume of what is about to happen next. Now, let's also talk about the big story this week that I don't hear anyone discussing, which I think is absolutely huge and super bullish for the blockchain crypto space. Joe Biden will be declaring a new U.S. world reserve currency probably on Wednesday. Tomorrow, dude. And this is something we've expected for years. In fact, if you go back to my old archive videos at bitcoinrich.com, I say things like, wait for the big regulatory push. That'll be a signal for the next leg up in this multi-trillion-dollar bull market. So I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. And we'll also go to an article here today. There's reports coming from Reuters, CNBC, Fox, The Hill. Biden to sign executive order on regulating cryptocurrency. So what does this mean? Well, number one, he's not getting rid of anything. Okay, I've told you that for years. They are fully moving forward with this new digital reserve. So let's talk about that for a minute. The new U.S. digital CBDC is not the world reserve currency. China's digital yuan is. Okay, so pay close attention to what Biden says tomorrow. More than likely, it's going to be sometime this week. See what pumps and what dumps, because that will be a sign and indication of what the U.S. and the central bank here has secretly been hodling this whole time. Just like Tim Cook owns Bitcoin and Ethereum and other cryptos, but he didn't tell you about it until now. Just like we know Elon Musk, one of the wealthiest people on the planet, owns Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. He just didn't tell you about it until later, until they finally disclose themselves to the public after they've pumped their own bags. So I believe the U.S. government is in the same position now, and as they pony up and get ready for this new Chinese century, and these are why all these geopolitical wars are currently taking place, all eyes should be on Taiwan, all eyes should be on Ukraine, is they amplify the fears that what is coming next, ladies and gentlemen, could be potentially much worse. Biden to sign executive order on regulating and issuing cryptocurrency, and it also says that they will address the possibility of their own declaration of a U.S. CBDC. Now, China, in the meantime, fighting back, this is the Financial Post, is consider buying stakes in Russian energy firms. So maybe China hasn't turned on Russia yet. In fact, maybe they're both posturing very surgically, very strategically, as the Sun Tzu art of war, turning against the West. And maybe they have other plans up their sleeve. So this would be a massive blow, ladies and gentlemen, to the U.S. government if this report is to be believed. Also, senators looking to lock down Russia's gold reserves. They don't want Russia to own gold or have the ability to sell their gold. So really what's happening, ladies and gentlemen, is we're entering the perfect economic, financial, greater depression here in the United States, a perfect hyperinflationary, stagflationary collapse, something I told you that they would do. What I believe is an intended energy crisis and a food crisis so that they can give you the new system. Problem, reaction, solution, Hegelian dialectic. What's that new solution? Self-driving cars, electric vehicles. They don't want you to use the gas hogs anymore. Of course, they've talked about things like carbon credits and scorecards and all these kinds of things. So this undoubtedly is what is going to happen next, as fears are heightened that Putin might be on the doorstep now of the other Baltic states, not just Ukraine, as he topples, and soon will topple, I believe, Kyiv. So, these are a very dramatic series of events we have not seen since World War I or World War II. The former, what many believe, was a feigned collapse of the Soviet Union. But the big thing that I've got my eye on this week is Biden's declaration of the new world U.S. dollar reserve currency, which will be a backup, and it won't be the principal player. The petrodollar is no longer the world reserve. The U.S. is no longer the world reserve. China is. But this is going to be very interesting because I believe this will signal the next major leg up in the blockchain, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency space. So whatever happens tomorrow or this week is just really a short-term aberration as the smart money is going to figure out where they're going to be pouring assets and which cryptos and other blockchain technologies they're going to pump. And I believe that my students at bitcoinrich.com are holding those bags. So honestly, get in today, guys. Click the link below right now. Get in at school at bitcoinrich.com. Position and learn now before Biden speaks tomorrow. Okay, you need to get ready now. This is a hyperinflationary event in the United States of America. Russian banks are collapsing. There are bank runs currently overseas. Russian stocks are no longer allowed to be traded at certain financial institutions. Coinbase just announced, which I don't like at all, that they cut off 30,000 Russian accounts just because they're Russians. So the question is, what's next? What part of our financial market will collapse and seize upon itself like 2008 and 2009 again, but in the coming days? Because I guarantee if this is heightened and this is the World War III, which I believe that it is, Russia won't be the only area of collapse. This will spiral out of control across the globe, which I would argue is what they want to achieve the agenda that they've always wanted. And this has everything to do with not just the new reserve Chinese yuan standard, repricing all of the debt in a debt jubilee, a collapse of the petro system, a collapse of the $30 trillion plus debt model, the collapse of the central bank model of infinite 0% interest rates and bailouts to infinity, and then to the convenient reset. Again, guys, they told you they're going to do this. I'm telling you to get rich. So click the link below and join us at bitcoinrich.com. Not a guarantee, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please read our disclaimers and disclosures on our website. Get my new 1000X Plus picks. Learn about the Island Project, and more importantly, create those cash flows in a...
Yeah, okay. All you do is United Devil trying to make money. We can do without that. Let's get another one. We got one from ABC News. Not that one. Let's get this one right here. This is ABC News.
President Biden banning...
Salakia. ABC News, the impact of a Russian oil ban on Americans. Let's hear it.
President Biden banning Russian oil imports and warning us all we're going to be paying the price at the pump.
We're banning all imports of Russian oil and gas and energy. That means Russian oil will no longer be acceptable at U.S. ports, and the American people will deal another powerful blow to Putin's war machine. This is a move that has strong bipartisan support in Congress and, I believe, in the country. Americans have rallied to support the Ukrainian people and made it clear we will not be part of subsidizing Putin's war.
Putin's war, that's now going to hit our pocketbooks. We are already paying for it, too, at the pump. You can expect it to climb even higher as well. For more on today's move and what lies ahead, we are joined with ABC's Alex Brachet here in Washington, also Chief Business Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis. She joins us from New York. Rebecca, let's start with you. What can you tell us about the economic impact that we're going to feel even more because of this? I mean, American drivers are already feeling the shock when we go to pump up our tanks.
Yeah, I mean, Kira, this is not without financial trade-offs for Americans. Right now, the national average is $4.20. That's the highest ever on record, and Americans are spending about $250 million more every day on gasoline than we did just 30 days ago. And poor Americans, this takes the biggest chunk out of their paychecks. It is harder to make up for the missing dollars, and the more money that goes towards gasoline, the less money we have to spend elsewhere. That has ripple effects. That has consequences for the economy over time. But as you said at the top of this, and as the president has made known, this has bipartisan support. 71% of Americans said in the most recent Quinnipiac poll that they're in favor of this, even if it means higher prices. The question, as far as those prices are concerned, is how long do prices stay here? The longer they stay here, the more problematic it becomes for the U.S. economy. And the second element to that is how do we make up this shortfall? The ban on Russian imports coming into the U.S. is significant. It is a significant financial weapon against Putin and Russia in the wake of this escalation, in the wake of this war. But ultimately, how we make up for that, whether we increase domestic production, whether we turn to OPEC and controversial places like Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, and put pressure on them to supply more oil here, those are decisions that also have consequences, Kira.
Okay, and Alex, as you heard, President Biden today, he acted without our European allies. Why is that? And will they be expected to curb Russian oil imports as well?
Well, what was interesting about this, Kira, is that we kind of, the White House had kind of tipped their cap that they might be acting without our allies earlier on in the week, saying that this was a decision that each country or each country bloc was going to have to make with regard to Russian oil and gas. But frankly, the U.S. going ahead without a unified movement, because we're in a position where we can, as a large energy producer ourselves. And so the president mentioned mentioned that, listen, some of our allies aren't in that same position, but we already have seen some of them start to move in the same direction. The UK announcing that it would be gradually weaning itself off of Russian oil, and I would assume that many of our other allies would follow suit whenever they can.
So, Rebecca, how big of an impact will this actually have on Russia's economy? We're seeing how it's impacting us. We know how it's going to impact us, but how is it really going to affect Putin and the way he rules?
Well, it certainly has an impact. Russia's main source of money is the energy complex. It's their export of energy to the world. The issue is that the United States takes in a very small portion of that, whereas Europe is high.
Republicans have blamed the president. So how did he defend himself today?
Well, you saw the president again point to the fact that this isn't an issue of drilling more. He once again brought up these 9,000.
Yeah, Salakia about that, brothers. I see that it was one brother said it was buffering. Salakia about that, ain't really nothing I can do. It may stop periodically, but Lord willing, you didn't really miss any info. Okay? Just gonna keep it moving.
And oil leases that aren't currently being used. We've also heard talk about more use of the strategic oil reserves. But again, kind of pushing back on this Republican notion.
All right. All right. Anyway, I got another one. This is a quicker video. This is hard. They're going to talk about
the record. That's the national average. That's the national average.
Okay, not the average in my neighborhood. Thank you.
Yeah. Come to mind.
Let me just be clear.
It was 410 back in 2008. Experts say relief isn't coming anytime soon, according to a new poll banning Russian.
they damn devils. Got my shit buffering. Hold tight. Okay.
We're going to feel that for a while, that pain at the pump. Today, the average price for a gallon of gas sits, there it is, $4.17, topping the record. That's the national average. That's the national average.
Okay, not the average in my neighborhood. Thank you.
Yeah. Come to mind.
let me just...
Lord willing, y'all can hear this. Let's go back soon. Let's try that. Y'all hold on here. Y'all. See what we got. All right, yeah, I see. Nah, it's still going, brothers. We good to go. I just changed rooms, try to get that that good connection back. So we're gonna continue on. We're gonna go back and play that again. Okay, the water, brothers. Hold on.
We're going to feel that for a while, that pain at the pump. Today, the average price for a gallon of gas sits, there it is, $4.17, topping the record. That's the national average. That's the national average.
Okay, not the average in my neighborhood.
Thank
you.
Yeah. Come to mind.
let me just be clear.
It was 410 back in 2008. Experts say relief isn't coming anytime soon, according to a new poll banning Russian oil. And I mentioned this, 71% support Russian oil ban, even if it means higher gas prices. So we wanted to hear from you about this in our series, Your Voice. Take a listen.
My wife and I just completed about a 3,600-mile journey from here down to New Orleans and up through Nashville and across to St. Louis and back up here. So we put some miles on. Saw some different gas prices, let me tell you. When headlines read +4, per gallon, then everybody kind of sits up and takes notice.
I certainly think people should be thankful for the state we're in right now. You can be paying easily $6 or $7 a gallon for gas 3.5, $4 hurts really bad. Let's hope we don't get to that 6 or 7.
I've never seen anything like this. I think in 08 was, our biggest scare when prices were starting to go up.
Coming up this spring, we have one of the biggest jobs in the history of my business on the boards to do. And the price of fuel and the price of the materials is going to greatly impact it. The people had a budget to get the job done. Nowadays, there's really like no such thing as a profit margin. It's just basically survival.
And that's not sustainable, is it?
It is not sustainable at all.
As someone that doesn't really have all the resources access to them, all you can really do is budget and keep budgeting and keep budgeting and, just do what you got to do to survive.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's $100 and it's not even a full tank.
Exactly.
Get used to it, right?
Yeah, you see that? $6. I'd be doing an OMG too.
And that is what we're facing, given what that war is doing to the world's gas supplies, is trying to use sanctions to stop Putin.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
All right, y'all see it. Gas prices going through the roof. Through the roof. Let's go quickly. I want to see a video just came up from one of the brothers. He had another news report. I'm going to click on it. From Virgin Islands Strait Gate, American and European Union thoughts on Caucasian people versus brown people. Oh, Lord. Listen to this.
Iranian refugees are crossing into Europe.
Before we get it, let's get this thing here to work, right? All right. So this is from the brother Virgin Islands Strait Gate. American and European Union thoughts on Caucasian people versus brown people. In this news report, it says white, European, Ukrainian refugees are welcomed in EU, unlike Syrians. It's just more from the devil. More from Esau, Edom, and it's all good. Let's see if we can get the full.
Migration crisis in a century. Hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian refugees are crossing into Europe in what the UN calls the largest migration crisis in a century. And its politicians have been quick to explain why the EU should take them in.
These women, children and elderly must be welcomed in Europe. Anyone can now perfectly understand the difference between the flow of refugees that is happening now and the invasion of young men of military age and of Muslim origin that have been launched against different borders of Europe in attempt to destabilize and colonize it.
If you're still in doubt, the corporate media dots the I's and crosses the T's.
It's very emotional for me because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed.
This isn't a place, with all due respect, like Iraq or Afghanistan. This is a relatively civilized, relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too.
We are in the 21st century. We are in a European city, and we have cruise missile fire as though we were in Iraq.
To put it bluntly, these are not refugees from Syria. These are refugees from Ukraine. They're Christians. They're white. They're very similar to us.
They seem so like us. That is what makes it so shocking. Ukraine is a European country. Its people watch Netflix and have Instagram accounts. War is no longer something visited upon impoverished and remote populations.
Surely a little racist for such progressive countries, not to mention the fact that the crisis...
You see that? These people on low level, man. Bunch of damn devils. Never change. They're never gonna change. Let's get Revelation 18. Get ready to shut this down. They're never gonna change. Okay? You see that? So they bias toward refugees now. If you got blonde hair and blue eyes, they're more inclined to let you into their country. See? But what the Lord is doing, he's preparing to judge for our sakes. So let's read this. This is Revelation 18 and verse 20, talking about Babylon. It says, "Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her." Now the heaven and the holy apostles and prophets are the Israelites. John the Baptist said, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. So that's, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets. Heaven is the kingdom of heaven, which are the Israelites. The holy apostles and prophets are that's the holy apostles and the prophets. Back again. You know, which represents the elect in this time now. Overall, the elect, heaven, the holy apostles and prophets. For the Most High hath avenged you on her. He's going to avenge all the bloodshed on our people on this place. And the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And we know that this is Babylon. This is Babylon the Great. Okay? Verse 24, and we can keep reading. We'll read in verse 22. It says, and the voice of harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. You see these merchants we talked about earlier? This is the great merchant city. By thy traffic that has gotten thee riches, right? For thy merchants were the great men of the earth. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. When you go into that sorceries right there, let's go to it. It's the word pharmakia or pharmakia. And what is that? Because sorcery play a big part in this.
Strong's G 5331. Pharmakia. Pharmakia.
Right, pharmakia, right? And it says what? The use or the administering of drugs. And that's your over the counter, you know, what do they call them? Narcotics. It's big on that. This place is big on narcotics. That's what the whole war in Afghanistan was about. That's why the heroin trade jumped up by 1,000% when America went over to Afghanistan. And also, too, to be noted, Russia is a major user of heroin. They got a lot of heroin use over there. And what's the thing called? Opioids. A lot of opioids get the base from heroin. The use or administering of drugs, poisoning, sorcery, magical arts often found a connection with idolatry and fostered by it. Metaphor, the deceptions and seductions of idolatry. And they seduce you with idolatry over here and deceive the whole world. White Jesus is one of them. Allah, Buddha, and they witchcraft, all types, hip hop. Here it says medication, pharmacy. See it? I.e. by extension, magic, literally or figuratively, sorcery, witchcraft. And Babylon the Great got a big hand in deceiving the nations. That old serpent called the devil and Satan was deceiving the whole world. Again, it says, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, and by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that was slain upon the earth. So this place is steeped in wickedness. Steeped in wickedness. So I think that's a good place to stop. I put up the link to the article earlier, the Netflix and TikTok and all of that. We dealt with that. Let's see what else we got over here. We got anything else over here to show? No, we showed Patel getting his paper. We showed this guy. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to come back to me briefly, and then we're going to shut it down. So maybe I'll read a few here off the comment board if I could get it. Hold on, brothers. And the comment board over here hadn't caught up, but it's all good. So I'll read a few of these. Yeah. This is the brother Mos Naim, servant of Yahushua, Amos. Yeah, it was. That was a picture that the wife sent me. This damn Moabite chick, damn eyebrows. I ain't figured out what I was gonna do with it yet. I may make a lesson on it. I may not. It just depends if I can fit it in some type of way. This is Amos 1:11. It says, thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. You see? So the Most High is not going to turn away the punishment of Esau, Edom. He's guilty. Nothing you can do about it. You can't get out of it. He is guilty. What else we got? Hold on. In my brow, that was crazy. This is Jim S. Holland. Hallowed be thy name. Isaiah 47:12. It says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. And going back to them sorceries, farm and kill. I mean, it's going to be a different word, obviously, because that's in the Hebrew, but it's the same thing. As a matter of fact, let me look it up. Let me see if I see that. Isaiah 47 and 12, was it? Yeah. We'll look it up over here. I want to see. I mean, I know it's going to be a different word in the Hebrew, but it may have a similar meaning. Let's see if it does. Isaiah 47, 12. Come on. Okay. Enchantments, sorceries, kasap. And it says magic, sorcery, witchcraft. But if you go into, let's see here, which really in that case, that wasn't talking about medicine anyway. It's talking about the actual sorcery. You look it up on Google. It says magical power, the use of witchcraft. That's pretty much all you're going to get. But it's all good. Okay. So, back in Isaiah 47:12, stand with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. But you're not going to prevail. Almost time up for the sorcery. And the brother Army, I can read it off of here. Army of Light, Nahum 3 and 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot. Who's the well-favored harlot? The same great whore that sits upon many waters. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts, and none other than Babylon the Great. You know. So that's it, brothers. We're going to stop it right there. To water everybody for all the scriptures, for sitting patiently through this. I had to work out a little bit of the kinks, but, you know, going forward, I anticipate doing more lessons on this, but we'll see. It's a great tool to use, but I didn't think I was going to be shown, which I really didn't want to be seen. Yeah, this is the picture right here. This is her right here. Chun-Li with the big ass head brows. Anyway, we'll leave off right there. The water again for everybody joining in, for listening. All right. We'll see you again soon with another lesson, Lord willing. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. You see the way this thing going. We'll see. Exciting times. All right. No, I wasn't I don't know if it's tattoo. It was just painted on. I ain't sure, bro. All right. Shalom.